Place is about geography, but also about memory and imagination. People make places even as places change people. Places are secured by individual and collective struggle and spirit. Place is where cultures are made, where traditions and history are kept and lost, where identities are created, tested, and reshaped over time. We begin our tour on Market Street in the Hillyard Neighborhood. This section of Market Street is the heart of the Hillyard Historic Business District and is an excellent example of a small-town working-class business district, representative of those which sprang up along railroads as they progressed through the country. On this tour, we will be pointing out some of the historic landmarks that have helped to shape this neighborhood, as well as current landmarks and assets that are actively shaping our Northeast communities today. Our first landmark is the Hillyard Heritage Museum. Established in 1994, the Hillyard Heritage Museum is dedicated to preserving the unique history of the Hillyard community and its connection with the Great Northern Railroad. The museum sits adjacent to Great Northern's Hillyard Rail Yard, which historically provided employment for many residents of Northeast Spokane and helped to shape the history of this part of the city until its closure in 1982. The museum's site includes historic rail cars that are open to the public upon request at the corner of Market and Queen. As we continue south down Market Street, we come to the Hillyard Bank Building. In 1908, the First National Bank built a two-story building next to Hillyard's other bank, the State Bank of Hillyard. Both buildings were replaced in 1920 by the current two-story brick building. Designed by noted architect Henry Bertelson, the building housed the United Hillyard Bank on the first floor and leased office space to various physicians on the second floor. Today, the building houses the United Hillyard Antique Mall, one of many antique shops located along Market Street in the Hillyard Historic Business District. Next door, we come across Heavenly Specialties. Located in the historic Nebraska Building, Heavenly Specialties is a formal tea room, cafe, bakery, and tea shop that opened in 2016. The tea shop features both a casual cafe and a formal tea room and provides a great place for residents and visitors to slow down, connect, and relax over some delicious tea. Next is the historic Kehoe Block. Named for successful businessman Thomas E. Kehoe, the Kehoe Block is a two-story building, distinguished by the cast concrete block letters that read Kehoe. It was built as the Kehoe Hotel, an 18-room, single-room occupancy hotel, which serviced railroad workers looking for work at the rail yards. The first floor housed the Kehoe Saloon, which was replaced by Kehoe Hardware during Prohibition. The hardware store remained in business for over 75 years, making it Hillyard's longest-running hardware store. Today, the building houses another one of Hillyard's many antique shops. Across the street sits the historic Pay and Take It food store, which was part of a chain of grocery stores that L.J. Skaggs and his wife, Mary D., founded in the 1920s. An excellent example of Art Deco-style design, this building became a Safeway in 1938 and remains an eclectic feature on Market Street to this very day. As we turn down Olympic Avenue, we come across a few great historic locations. First, we see the Hillyard Laundry Building. From 1906 until 2002, this building housed the Hillyard Hand Laundry, owned and operated by Japanese immigrants Y. Tanaka, R. Nakashima, and H. Sato, and gives us a glimpse into the deep immigrant roots that run throughout the history of Hillyard and Northeast Spokane. Next door is the Sheehan Boarding House. Built in 1893 for Jerry Sheehan, a Great Northern Rail Yard worker. Located adjacent to the former Great Northern Rail Yard, the structure was a boarding house, referred to as the Square Deal Hotel. This wood-framed house is the oldest building in the Hillyard Historic District. Across the way, we see the old Hillyard Post Office. This one-story structure was a more recent construction and served as the Hillyard Post Office until 2001. As we've walked past these buildings, you may have noticed the many murals that adorn the sides of buildings. Hillyard has always been proud of its history and its heritage. This is demonstrated in the many painted murals throughout the neighborhood. Today, Hillyard has over 10 official murals, and 13 total, located throughout the business district. Most of the artwork depicts some aspect of Hillyard's railroad history, focusing on the rail yards and trains. Finally, we come to Green's Fresh Market, a locally owned fruit and vegetable store that serves fresh produce to the tight-knit community here in Hillyard. Opened in 2017, the market prides itself on its community-minded approach to business and has become a great asset in the community.